Well, a wonderful good afternoon to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, to you wherever you are. It's a glorious Wednesday afternoon. I want to say thanks for being part of this conversation at 19 minutes gone past the hour of 3 o'clock. Again, we continue with this series of programs that is put on by the Ministry of Youth in collaboration with us here at the GBN, and certainly the young people that are here, giving them an opportunity and a platform to air their voices as they continue to vie for positions on the National Youth Parliament. Well, they've considered that they want to see changes in Grenada, and they have been given an opportunity. And so I want to say good afternoon to Emerson, Calliste, Kevon, George, and Juvana, Mark. They are my guests this afternoon, and certainly we'll be hearing from them and get a full appreciation as to what their intentions are and how they intend to become the ideal change makers. Maybe they are attempting, Juvana, to make Grenada great again. Is that the case?
Yes, that is the intention, and I'm sure my colleagues would agree.
Well, tell me, what are your plans to make Grenada great again?
Okay, so as one of the candidates for South St. George, there are a couple of areas of focus that I think is very necessary of today and that our young people should get involved in, which is the skill aspect of things. Because yes, having a bachelor's or associate's degree or something of that sort, it helps you, but skills can actually help you to make more money and develop your character as an individual and keep the person that may not be, let's say, as, intellectual in that aspect, in a job, busy and able to provide for their families.
Why do you think, as you mentioned that, does that... Oh, two questions I want to ask you, though. Do you sometimes get the sense that there always seemed to be an argument, a line of argument that seems to suggest that persons that are into one of these vocations are not necessarily as brilliant academically? Do you agree with that school of thought, and where did that notion come from?
So no, I do not agree with that school of thought, being that I myself, yes, I work and I'm academic, but I myself also have skills because I actually sew and I paint because I do art as well, and I have actually sold that, but yet still I do have, I'm articulate enough and I'm intelligent enough. So no, saying that it's not accurate, it does not apply across the board. Am I to assume that you're the one that's responsible? You saw what is it you're wearing? Oh, not today, no. But I do have some, pictures of some of my work actually on my Instagram page. But yes.
I see your compatriots. They're actually smiling. Emerson, we're going to continue the conversation right there, but do you see, and the point that Juvana is making, the challenge and the need to further vocational studies? Do you see that as an ideal opportunity for a change in our curriculum?
I would say yes, no-ish. I would say this because I believe in furthering one's education. However, you got to look at it in the category of education. When I say category, everybody is brilliant in their own way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Someone might look as a farmer and think he's uneducated, but he's educated in that field. Whereas somebody who is a mechanic, he's educated in that field. Someone who's a lawyer, they're educated in that field. I'm not going to expect a mechanic to defend me in court. Mm-hmm. Neither I'm going to expect a lawyer to fix my car. Yeah, but at the same time, I believe that one should further their education in getting degrees, bachelor's, whatever it is. But we should not have the notion that not because one is doing this, he is uneducated and so on. But I just want to stretch it a little further. There are a lot of people out there who do not qualify on paper. Mm-hmm. However, if you put them to the task, they will get it 100% better than those who qualify on paper. So I do not believe paper and education is always the key, but the knowledge, as my grandfather would often say, common sense is always better. always better than the education.
And you may be surprised, Kevon, that you take an individual who is academically brilliant, but when you throw them in the workplace, so they leave university, they leave college, and wow, they leave with a 4.0 GPA, and you're thinking, wow, these children are, and they fall into the workplace, and then you realize that academics takes you but that far, Kevon. When you get into the workplace, there are soft other skills that is needed that very often doesn't comprise the education system. Is that an area of concern for you as you look for the opportunity to be a change agent in the national parliament?
No, to say a concern, how I would put it is this. I think as a country, we really need to take a look at how we perceive persons in terms of the same education and qualification. Now, that same school of thought that if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you would say that it's dunce, right? So they will have persons who are more academically inclined, and those persons may well be more suited to areas of that level of academics, right? And sometimes just because of lack of options or availability of the options that they want, they may try to fit themselves into certain positions, and then they don't fit in as well. And then we see them as, you're educated but you're incompetent. And then you have the reverse, right? Persons who are more inclined physically to participate in the workplace or in society in a particular way, right? You put them in a field which is more academically inclined, and then you judge them based on that and say, okay, they're incompetent. No, I believe that we need to take a look at the education system and kind of, how I could put it, we need to relook at how we perceive, the whole concept around education itself.
Well, I think I've seen my Minister of Education in the making. Well, we're keeping our eyes on the clock. 25 minutes gone past the hour of 3. In case you're just joining us, I have with me Kevon, Emerson, and Juvana, and they're all vying for positions in the Youth Parliament. And it's interesting, we want to become change agents. Let's talk about the youth parliament, Kevon. Let's talk about the youth parliament and the impact it has made on your life.
That's a very loaded question for me.
Offloaded for us.
Okay. I have been a participant. First of all, I'd like to do my introduction. My name is Kevon Judge, and I'm the candidate representing St. Andrews South East for the National Youth Parliament elections on December 5th. Right? I have been an active participant in Youth Parliament in general since 2021. Right? And back then, it wasn't in the form that it is now, right? It was more in line with like a debate kind of, I wouldn't say competition, but it's more in line with the debates, more in line with just the parliamentary sittings, right? And we have always been asking and vying for the current status of the program now, right? And after some time passed, I operated as a facilitator for Youth Parliament. And then finally, this opportunity came. And I was given, this golden opportunity to participate in something that we always wanted, that we always asked for. Right. And so, in terms of the impact that it has had on me, it's vast, right? It has developed me. Before Youth Parliament, I was an introvert, right? I was the type of person you couldn't get to sit down in a place like this, right? You couldn't get to come in this type of environment and say, okay, speak on TV, speak on radio, go and meet people, talk. No, never, right? And so going through that process and going through the training and all those things, and then it has awoken a lot of braveness, boldness, and so on in me. And not only that, it has awoken that sense of love and so on for politics and parliament and so on in general, to the point where I am now focused on an actual career, even after Youth Parliament, in politics, right?
Emerson, is that Is that the same line your story takes, or it's a little bit more? It has a bit more rumble and tumble to it.
I don't know about the rumble and tumble, but I would say this. I grew up in church, so being outspoken is not a strange thing for me.
Right.
Yeah, I've developed. I was never a fast learner in school, but church has given me that ability to learn and read better. I grew up as a young boy in church.
Right.
But when the youth parliament came about, somebody was saying, "Well, give it a try, now, man. You could debate, you know." So I said, "All right, let me give it a try," and in the training process, and by the way, our tutor did a very good job. Miss Mark, if I may call her name.
Very much.
Yeah, she did a very wonderful job. She gave me the ability to be more creative in my speech writing and so on. Be more, elevated, if I may say. And I've developed that ability to be more outspoken because of the youth parliament, and give me the boldness to approach anybody. Yeah, regardless of their facial expression, I give me that boldness to approach them in a good way and so on. And it has helped me, and now as I'm campaigning, because of the experience I get in debating and so on, I can now boldly face the youths in my constituency and voice my concern and issues with them.
Well, as a lone female, Juvana, I would assume you were born brave and cut for this. Is that the case?
I would not say such, but I would have developed in church. I like Mr. Calliste here. I too, have been involved in church, and when you're involved in church activities, like, you are trained to speak and memorize and talk in front of the entire congregation. They get you involved in all of these different activities. So I would say it would have developed along the way, but I myself, have never had, let's say, has been that energetic, hi everybody type of person. But being involved in youth parliament has developed that aspect. It also has aided my public speaking, and sometimes, I get really nervous or anxious when I have to talk to people, because I'm not too sure, how they might, see me or what I'm saying. But it has really also helped me to gain a perspective into what the young people think, because when I went out into the communities and I spoke to the people, there were people that were voicing certain things that they think that they should see implemented within. And being part of youth parliament, I'm grateful for the opportunity to bring their ideas forward.
And I'm certain you would agree that the sort of changes and the training that you receive not just helped you in terms of being a better public speaker, but helped to develop your own personality, craft, make you to find your true self, and understanding and appreciating your own potentials.
Definitely.
So what are some of the things that you've been involved with as you roll out your campaign? What sort of things you've been involved with in terms at the community level?
Okay, so I am currently a youth leader religiously with the church. So I tend to, let's say, plan programs and so forth for the young people that would suit what they would like and bring a new aspect into it. So me coming into the youth parliament, it's basically like initiating the same thing but on a bigger level, a constituency level.
What? On the constituency level.
Right. And I do have, some ideas of some activities already that I would like to see executed within my constituency.
What are some of the things that young people like, though? Tell me.
So, besides, young people are about, making, the best versions of themselves and being able to make money. So being able for them to be able to get a skill, right, in which that they can be able to, meet their means. And as young people, young people want different things. We want cars. We want to own a house someday. We want to own lands. That's the things that we want. So being able to, let's say, harvest their skills, because then you would hear some of them saying, "Oh, if we had more in this specific skill area, then I would better be able to do this and that and the other."
So, Emerson, is it that you're saying that young people, their needs are no much varied from our needs, the adults?
We all are different. Youth's ideology different compared to an adult. As my colleague Juvana was saying, as youths we have the ideology of I want cars, I want money, and it's good in a good sense. And this is why, as youth leaders, we should harvest that kind of energy and make sure that we as youths, we focus on the right side of things, not just having money, but how do we conserve, how do we invest, and all those things. And I think this is one of my aim as youth parliament, youth investment, youth in youth entrepreneurship, and those sort of things, because it's nice to see a young man have lands. And I'm not just talking about land to build house, but land to further his investment.
Well, that's interesting. I always thought, honestly, that young people couldn't care two hoots as to this sort of investment, which is not short-term, but in fact a lifetime investment that sets the platform for where to from here. Kevon, you agree with what they've said in terms of, or you have your community, your program's community involvement is a little bit much more varied than theirs?
Okay, so I'll just start by saying the journey or the experience I've had through interacting with the youths in my constituency. Now, for my constituency, you'd see a lot of young people involved or trying to get involved in their own little business, their own little craft, whether it be fishing, be farming, their own little business or so. And yes, as Emerson said, that train of thought, a lot of them has that concept of we need more money, right? Money is a big thing for most people, right? But yes, they have that concept that they need more money. But for a lot of them, they have the right ideology. They're trying to work to get it. They're trying to really get things rolling. But of course, a number of the challenges they face is how to really get their business off the ground, how to really manage a business, and the finances and so on are around it. And they have a lot of challenges in terms of knowing who to go to for help, or even having the confidence to really reach out for help and to find out what is there, what is available, and so on. And of course, from all of that, I noticed that niche. And I don't want to go too deep into it, because I guess at some point we will talk more about our campaign plans and so on. But from that, I realized what the general need for most of the youths are. They need that helping arm, right, to really point them in the right direction as to where to get help, where to get resources, where can I go, who can I speak to kind of help me to get this business rolling and off the ground and so on, right? But I do believe generally, as I said, most of them, they have the right mindset, they have the right intention.
They have intention, and as adults, you normally say that intentions does not get us to heaven. It's living the life that gets us to heaven. Would you say, is that very intention, that very need for success, the very need to obtain, whether it be land or whatever, is it that very need that sometimes forces young people, in the absence of opportunity, that forces them to get into activities that may seem less than savory and to take a different path, Emerson?
Of course, and this is why I said earlier, if we could harvest that energy into the good sense, because I'm being honest, as a young man, I know what it's like not to have. I lost my mom at a young age and so on. So I grew up with the idea of knowing what to have. But because of good influence, I grew up the right path. And right. I think a lot of the youths, especially the young men in my constituency, they tend to go down a bad road because of the need to want this, to want to have something. And because there's no proper avenue to guide them that way, they tend to end up going on the wrong road. And
sometimes not just a matter of wanting it, but wanting to know, not understanding or refusing to accept that it's a gradual process. I'm Juvana.
Yes.
So what are some? So you guys have identified the fact that young people have needs. They want to obtain. They're no much different from us adults. Yeah. The challenges that they want it now, and there's an absence of opportunities. They go to college. What do you do next? So how do you plan to get that message out there? What platforms are you using to sell that vision for young people that you guys are hoping that they would follow you and decide, you know what, I want Kevon to be the man that represents me, not X, Y, and Z. Yeah, so what's the platform that you have?
Okay, well, platform is a funny way to put it, but my plan, let's put it that way, right, is that as the representative for St. Andrews Southeast, right, and in fact that's part of my manifesto too, right, my main purpose, my main function is to improve the everyday lives of the youths, right? I am taking a risk on that one too, because I know most persons, again, I know I kind of jump in the gun, but I have to for that question. Most persons tend to, most of the candidates tend to take the route of, okay, I will implement this program, so on and so forth. My program is simply on that basis. I am going to meet with my constituency. I am going to hear from them what are their concerns or their suggestions and so on, and I am going to be the one to go to the various stakeholders, private sector, public sector, wherever, get responses, get feedback, get collaborations, resources to start whatever project, whatever community, whatever it may take, and then go back and give them feedback, give them access to whatever resources, links, etc., as the case may be, right? That would be my work, and I would work tirelessly to ensure that each person that feels distressed within the constituency or who just wants to see certain things implemented, that it will be done. It will not be me saying, I want to implement this. I believe they want this. No, I'm going to them and let them tell me what it is that they want. And on that same note, I have already started to do that. I'm not waiting till after. I have already started that process of collecting that information and searching out links, sources, and so on, assistance for my constituents.
Kevon, you think that is the ideal thing that needs to be done, or you have a plan that is just totally much more radical than Kevon?
So I do agree with Kevon on his basis, because I too myself have, when me and my team, when we go out into the communities, we actually ask them for their suggestions as to what they would like to see implemented, so that I can put that into my manifesto.
Is that much varied from what you find at a political level from the adults? You guys seem to be focusing, Emerson, they both seem to be focusing on the need to listen, hear from, and try to articulate the constituents' need and try to find ways and mediums to help them. Is that you subscribe to that same thing?
I do, and because remember, when you're representing, you're not representing yourself, but you're representing the needs, the wants, the interests of your constituents. And as I always say, active community engagement is one of the keys in better understanding your community, your constituency, the people who you want to represent. Because when they put you there, they not put you there because they want you to go there, but because they want you to represent them. Because you sell a story to them and it sounds good. So they put you there to not only because you sell the story to them, but to fulfill the story you tell them. For example, if I tell them, hey, youth in active youth engagement, active youths in entrepreneurship, youths in farming, youths in this, then it is expected of me to accomplish that. And whatever way it takes in getting that accomplished, it is now my job to figure out how. But the community, all they're expecting is for me to accomplish that. Yeah.
You've had a lot of conversations over the years in mainstream politics, we want to help to improve the lives of the young people. It is almost something comes across as a revolving door. It seems something to come across as rhetoric. But you're saying to me here, and I'm getting the sense that, because you always hear in a lot of circles, that young people, they don't listen, they don't hear. What do you think is that what's creating that varied opinion, that they're not listening? Is it that they're not listening, or is it that you're using a medium, adults are using a medium or a language that is not connecting to young people?
I think they're not listening is not true. I think probably the way they go about transferring those information to the young people is wrong. Okay, remember, we two different individuals. Yeah, so we hear differently comparing to someone, because an older person tends to listen because of experience, but a younger person, they want to know why. Yeah, and I think the issue is that the older folks probably not sure. They're only telling us not to or do this, but they're not telling us why and why we should and we shouldn't. Yeah, but the youth, we listen very well. We may not show it, but I'm surprised. When I engage with a lot of the youth in my constituency, I'm surprised, and I'm questioning myself, why am I the one to represent you? Because the response I just get from them, I just feel I shouldn't be here, but you should be there. Yeah, but
right.
they do listen. They are aware. I would tell you that they are aware of what is happening. But it may seem that they do not, but they are very much aware.
Juvana, from your experience, is Emerson what he's saying all lies, or you have come to realize the same thing, that young people are listening and you want to be the conduit through which you channel their message to the outside?
The young people, yes, I agree with Mr. Calliste here. Yes, the young people, they do know what they want. They do know what they want, because the suggestions that you're going to get from these young people, it shows that they're not just going about their daily lives, not concerned about what happens. They are into that. It's just, again, is the medium, how we go about connecting on that level, because it's different.
I hear the conversation, and there's some persons out there, young persons, even persons who probably they want to vote for either one of you, and they keep saying, "Yeah, but what you guys saying sounds good. We have needs. Yeah, we have needs, but we're in the times where there's limited resources. Yeah, whether at whatever level. How do you plan to counteract that? And as part of your campaign, what are some of the specific things you want to roll out? That, because everything you need, it takes money, it takes creativity. Yeah, so let's look at your campaign. And yes, you understand what the needs are, but what's the specific plans do you have to roll out that will attract young people and they'll say, let me vote for Juvana?
Okay. So, one of the initiatives that I plan to do, again, I'm a big advocate for skills. I think you probably would have realized that in this session. Even though, let's say, resources may be limited, right? As a candidate, seeking sponsorship is something that we can always explore.
Right.
We can go to different institutions, different community organizations and businesses, and we can bring to them, okay, well, I want to roll out, let's say, a skill where I teach young ladies within the community of, let's say, women to sew so that they can become tailors or seamstress. And then again, there are people that are actually willing who would say, okay, well, I like what this young lady is doing, so how about I volunteer my time to be the instructor for a couple of days to assist. So it can happen. We just have to explore our options and our possibilities as to how we go about implementing these programs.
Emerson?
I think I believe in working together, and this is why one of my team is most equals us. Yeah. To get certain things done, we have to come together as communities, as friends, as neighbors to accomplish those things. Yeah, we must come together. We must work together, and I believe correct me if I'm wrong, yeah. But we today cannot lose the sense of family community. Yeah, back then, growing up as a little boy, the community came together, worked together, grew up the child together, and this is how Grenada has thrived back then. I mean, the way of things change, yeah. But we should maintain that sense of coming together, and this is why one of my favorite quotes by former President JFK is not what your country can do for you, but it's what you can do for your country. So if we all adopt that mindset of what can I bring to the table in terms of development as a youth, what can I put into the fold of prosperity for my community, and not what I'm expecting. A lot of times, too much of us as youth, we expect too much and not want to give back. Yeah, how can I harness my skills? How can I not make myself better, but my family, my community a better place?
You know, it's interesting. I thought you would have probably been more of a Obama, George Bush era. It goes back to JFK, and I'm start thinking, wow, okay, the guy's Emerson is deeper than I thought. The guy goes to JFK. I mean, honestly, seriously. So you're making your plea out there, and certainly the folks are hearing you. There is a registration process.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. Talk to me about that, Juvana.
Okay. So with the registration process, right? Young people are basically notified about the ongoing youth elections that are occurring. So what we do is, what I do and my team, my small team, when we go to the communities, we provide them with, I would tell them, okay, here is a brief rundown of some of the objectives that I would like to implement, and they would agree, let's say, right, that they agree, and they provide me with their information, and I would send them a link, right? Or basically at the same time they would go onto that link. So it is youthelections.gov.gd, where persons can go onto there and register. So you will see a candidates tab, you would see the registration. You click on that, and then basically you follow the steps in order to register. And young people are sent a code after they are vetted, and they say, okay, that they actually from that constituency, a code is sent via email in which that young person would basically save for election day, which is going to happen on the 5th of December. Election also closes off on the 22nd of November.
Registration.
Yes, registration. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know what is interesting in this, and help me if you can, each one of you. There is a challenge, though. The concern has always been, how do you reach the young people? We live in an era, internet is to go. That's a gateway to the world. But yet there's a concern that a lot of young people do not have access to that internet platform. How much of a concern is that for you, that our forefathers, your forefathers, while they embrace and say technology is the way to go, yet affordability seems to be a question that drives people away from being able to have access to it, Emerson?
Sadly, it is a reality where a lot of youths don't have the access towards technology, because in my engagement with a lot of youths, I realized that a lot of them not even on social media. Some of them not on Instagram, not even on Facebook.
And I used to feel bad. I'm good now. I'm good.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked. As a matter of fact, I was shocked. But what I do is, like I said, active community engagement. And although I'm active in the community, it doesn't necessarily means I will meet all the youths. So I would engage with the parents. Yeah, pass on the message to your children. I will show the parents the importance of the youth election and the process, and not only the process but the outcome and how we could benefit them not only today but tomorrow. Yeah, so the parents, I will pass on that batter onto the parents to make sure your children are the friends and everyone knows. And I will tell a friend to tell a friend. Yes, those who I'm in contact with, I will say, hey, register, and show your friends register, and show their friends register. And I'll constantly be on them. Hey, you get your friends register, you tell your friends in your community what's happening, and so on. Yeah.
Kevon, how integral is that process, that involvement, using parents as a conduit? You think that's a good platform, and it's even an even greater way to be able to reach out to young people?
And I'll start by saying simply, politics is about people. And young people, old people, we all fall in the category of people. I'll go in somewhere with that point. Right? If the parents understand the importance, the fundamental value of the youth elections, they are going to be the champion in the home for everybody, right? Young, old, as the case may be, right? They would become that conduit that everybody would be able to tap into, right? If we choose to exclude a particular group and say, oh, that election is not for them, I think we're making a huge mistake because we're excluding that opportunity for a greater buy-in of the program itself across the country, right? So we don't just want young people to buy in just to vote so we could go in office. No, the whole concept is to let everybody understand the importance of that youth voice, the direction we're trying to go with this and what we're trying to achieve. Because I could be in my 50s and I would champion a cause for young people to elevate to another level of thinking and functioning and so on, because it means better for my country on a whole, and in turn it will mean better for me, right? So if I reach to the point where I am on my dying bed and I know that these young people have things locked and tight, I don't have to worry, right? So it's a buy-in across the board. So yes, I would champion that. I want the elderly, the middle-aged, the young, everybody to buy into it and to support and to push and encourage everybody who is eligible to vote, because everybody understands the importance and the significance of the program.
Help me, Juvana, to expand on Kevon's position on the significance and the magnitude of what is being offered to young people here to be part of this youth parliament. How significant is it?
I would say it's very, very, very significant, and hence the reason why I tend to explain to the young persons I come in contact with, it gives you a voice. I am your advocate, right? This process allows whatever it is that you do not like or what you want to see implemented to be known, to be out there, to end up in the ears of the right people that can assist and move forward and make a difference in the society of today.
But Emerson, there was always going to be the argument, listen, young people, yeah, we know that. And some of them, they may even want to push back and saying, well, I'm young, why should it be you? You don't have the experience, you don't know the right people, the people that you need to be as change agents. You don't have access to them, Emerson. What would be your response to them?
We all got to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. If I do not start now, then when? If I do not gain the experience now, then when would I? Yeah? So it's better I get it now as I'm young. So when I'm old, I will better understand in representing youth more. Yeah? So me starting to represent you now as youths, if I decide to go into politics, I wouldn't be a strange thing in understanding you tomorrow into politics, because I have an understanding, because I represented you as a youth parliament. Then I will be more fit to represent you if God's willing in the actual politics realm. Yeah, but I don't believe in the notion of one not having the necessary experience. I mean, don't get me wrong, experience is always the greatest teacher. But sometimes we need to develop the experience. And how can we do that if we're not given the chance and the opportunity? And this is why sometimes I have issues with jobs asking for experience. Because take for example, one's go to school and he gets his bachelor's degree, but when he goes to the job is asking for experience. How can he get experience? What he has to do, go and work, go to school, and then it doesn't make sense. But although experience have its place, but I believe one should given the opportunity to gain those experience.
Lack of the whole question of experience, is that a tool by adults to keep that divide between themselves and the young people? Kevon, Juvana, I see your face lit up. I'm just asking the questions I don't know. You're the politician. Young politicians. I'm just asking.
To see a divide, I'm not sure if I really want to use that word, but it goes even beyond, let's say, just the job experience, because even in the home you might hear someone say, oh well, I don't think you should go into that field, I have more experience than you, so I don't think that is gonna work. So sometimes yes, it can be used, let's say, as a tool, but then again, what are we going to do with that? Are we going to allow the fact that someone says that, okay, you don't have that experience? No, that's not going to stop me from doing what it is that I have to do as a youth parliament candidate, as an advocate, and as a young person that wants to achieve certain things.
I guess we can reasonably assume that this youth parliament serves as a platform that would answer the question 20 years from now of your lack of experience as wanting to be a politician.
Of course.
So that argument goes out the window. Thanks to the youth parliament. Okay, so you're in here, you're vying for office, and then the ultimate question that will be asked: why, Emerson? Why, in the name of Kennedy, of John F. Kennedy, should I vote for you?
That's an interesting question. And a lot of youths ask me that. Yeah, at first when I just started, I didn't have a response. I didn't know. But later down, I get to realize that this is not about me,
Right.
but it's about you as an individual. It's about you as youths. Yeah. So why should I represent you? Because I believe in the power of service. I believe as a man, as a young man, I'm not yet a man, as a young man, we should have that notion of service. And I want to serve you as the youths in my constituency. I want to serve you. I love doing it. Yeah, I developed that mentality in church. So why you should vote for me? Because when I go there, I'm not speaking about me or for me, but for you. Yeah, your concerns are my concerns. Yeah, your success are my success. Yeah, so why you should vote for me, or why should I represent you? Because when I represent you, I'm not representing anything else but you.
Well, I would assume for you, Juvana, your response would be, you want to be another Kamala? Or yours beyond that?
Camilla. No, I don't want to be another Camilla. I want to be another Juvana Mark. I want to be a Mark that leaves a mark in society, as my last name states. And I am about service, as Emerson said, and I'm here to serve the people. I want to be the change that I want to see. So it's not about just me. It's about the people, because the people are the interest, the young people are the interest, the young people are the future. And that would be the best thing that can happen if all our young people, or most of our young people, are guided in the right path and are able to, succeed at life and do the things that they want to do and build healthy relationships, healthy families, business relationships, become entrepreneurs, and just develop our dear beloved country to the fullest extent.
And Kevon, you would want to be, at the end of the day, you've listened to Emerson, you've listened to Lady Mark, you just want to be able to say to them, praise the Lord, I am part of this entire vanguard, this new vanguard, change agents that's going to replace our forefathers?
I'm not too sure I understand the question fully, and I don't want to go off on a tangent.
No, but in the context that you just want to be a change agent, just as everybody else, if they should ask you.
I am never the person to put myself in the category of like everyone else. I like to be unique, right? I like to stand out as doing things different,
Right.
But in terms of me being part and parcel in terms of like a change agent or to give a reason as to why you should consider me, I would go to my slogan. My slogan is action and experience over idle words. The action, we spoke about it earlier, in that I would make it my task and my duty, right, to go to you, hear what you have to say, hear your concerns, hear your suggestions, right, and write a report, right, go to the by roads and the side roads and everywhere I could go to get that assistance for you. The experience, my time in youth parliament has created in me what I would deem a professional. I know the terrain, I know how to handle it, I know how to approach debates on bills and resolutions and so on, and I would be able to give a proper representation of my constituency when it comes to that. And no idle was the most important part. I would not promise anything that I cannot do, and anything that I say I would do, I would do. And that's the basis that I would tell young people within my constituency you could depend on when it comes for me being in office for that 2-year period for youth parliament.
Some full of big chat and can't defend it.
Exactly.
That wouldn't be you.
No, that would not at all.
Folks, time is fast spent. We got to wrap it up, but certainly it would be remiss of me if I don't ask you about where to from here, further aspirations. We start with you, the queen among the thoughts. Juvana, where to from here?
It would be a pleasure, right, to be elected as the youth parliament candidate for the Great South St. George, as Honorable Andy Williams would say. And being able to serve for the 2 years would be a lot for me from here, but also, in furthering myself as well as a young person, to gain as much knowledge as I can, gain as much perspective as I can, learn as much as I can about our political system and the government, and being able to have the knowledge that I can to implement and give back into the country. So from here is just to keep going onwards and to gain more knowledge, to educate, to develop, to grow as a young person, and to be the best advocate that I can.
Be the best advocate that you can. Kevon, what say you? What's the plan? Where to from here?
After youth parliament, I intend to stay in the field. I don't know how soon after. I can't give a timeline, but I can guarantee that the work that I would start as a youth parliament candidate or eventually representative would transfer or transition into mainline politics at some point in the future. Right? I can't give a timeline, so I'm investing myself in this and the interaction with the people and everything, with that hope and that dream and that goal of continually serving the citizens of Grenada for the rest of my life.
Emerson, the floodlights are on.
I'm what you would call a fisherman on a boat. I cast my net out. Yeah. God's will, I will focus on these 2 years in representing, if elected, representing my constituency in the best way I can. But one of my aspirations, and I say one because, as I say, I cast my net out, I'm exploring. One of my aspirations is entrepreneurship. I do simmer sponge. I'm probably the best tasting simmer sponge on the island of Trinidad. It's a pity I didn't bring one for you to sample. Yeah. But I promise you, let me just say I promise. I tell you this, next time I come up that area, I'll drop one for you, definitely. But we do simmer. My partner and I, he harvests, he rear, he dive, and I do the product, the drink. And but if it's God's will, wherever He directs my path, I will follow. If it is His will that I become probably a minister, or maybe the next prime minister, or governor general, or probably the first president of Grenada. But if it's His will that I become a minister of His word, wherever His will, I will follow.
Wherever He leads.
Yes.
I will follow. I will leave the conversation right there. It is 8 minutes gone past the hour of 4 o'clock, and indeed, it was a pleasure. Again, we continue to find change agents, and we all change agents. The question, do we understand our role? As I say to you every day, live life, love life. And if one day your role is to find your divine purpose, for Kevon, Juvana, and for Emerson, they are on that path to find the divine purpose, to become change agents. Maybe not today, but as Emerson says, if the good Lord's willing, certainly somewhere across the rainbow, we will not today, we are going to find that we will part. And I'll be sitting right here waiting for my CMOS. Waiting for my CMOS. If I don't get it, I will call the NTRC to ask Juvana, where is Emerson? Yeah. Guys, I wish you all the best. And when I say it, I mean it sincerely. I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you very much.
And hope that this is not just a joyride that you're on, but it's a serious journey to become true change agents. Well, JC loves you. This is as far as I can take you, because all good things come to an end. But their journey has just begun. Until then, so long, everybody, until we get our next crop of but contestants, not contestants actually, representatives. I hope you continue to be the best version that you can be. Until then, I'll turn you back over to the man himself, who is on Hot 98. And until then, so long, everybody.